The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
IPSWICH boss Kieran McKenna on Portsmouth.
I personally never enjoy it when a team have lost heavily before you play against them. I'd rather they'd have won 5-0. Of course it can go in two ways. But any time I've seen them this year, they've been a really high energy team, work really hard for the manager, and give teams problems. So I'm sure they're going to try and deliver that on Sunday. I'll watch their last game back and we'll take what we can from it. But it certainly never feels like it makes the job any easier. If anything, it usually makes it a little bit harder in the next one. Whenever I've watched them, they have been a team that likes to get in the opposition's face. Fratton Park's a high-energy stadium, and an aggressive place for away teams to go. It certainly wasn't that in our stadium. We're going to have to be ready to go and stand up to the home crowd, to a team who play with a lot of energy and run a lot. Their intensity is really good, so we're going to have to recover well for a physically demanding game. Against Oxford it was a little bit different. It was a slower game, Oxford sat in, and we weren't quite able to get the energy into the game ourselves. So although both clubs are in similar positions in the league, I think they are two different types of teams, and it'll be a different atmosphere on Sunday.
OK, so that's interesting, isn't it? That he'd rather we'd won 5-0 than lost 5-0. You can see the psychology that he's drawing to... Excuse my cough. Tail end of that flu. You can see the psychology that he is talking about. Whether or not he entirely believes it is another matter. He could be saying those things for the sake of making sure that his team are absolutely 101% up for it when they come out against us. They mustn't have any sense of complacency, is what I think he's saying to his players. Just because they got stuffed in their last game doesn't mean to say that we don't have to work hard and do everything right, keep our concentration, keep our energy levels up throughout the game in order to get something from it. And we want to get something from it because we want to pull away from the other teams who are in playoff positions. We want to go for one of the automatic places, of course. So they want to get something when they come away from Fratton Park. They want at least a point, preferably all three. So he's doing everything he can to get his squad, his players on song for the game. Let's hope, and I think we can rest assured that this is the case, that we're doing the same.
John Mousinho insists Pompey's New Year's Day collapse at Bristol City didn't tell him anything he didn't already know about his squad's shortcomings. But while he's clear on the reinforcements he needs to bolster their bid for championship survival, he's warned fans they'll have to be patient this month. Pompey kicked off the new year in the worst way imaginable, getting hammered 5-0 at Ashton Gate. The team is being stretched to its breaking point by a brutal injury list, with 10 players sidelined for Sunday's clash with Ipswich Town. On top of that, Lonnie Connor Chaplin will have to sit out the game against his parent club. That's left MOUSINHO'S squad badly exposed in areas that needed strengthening even before the injury crisis hit. Midfield is an obvious priority, especially with Mark Kosnowski expected to be out long-term after a worrying knee injury against Charlton, while fellow £1 million signing Luke Leroux has so far not hit the heights. The team has also been playing without a natural left-back due to both Connor Ogilvie and Jacob Farrell being out. Goals have been hard to come by, with Colby Bishop struggling for form and no experienced backup, and the right wing is another area crying out for attention. Ironically, while short elsewhere, Pompey have 5 specialist centre-backs, but only Regan Poole has consistently excelled, with the likes of Hayden Matthews, Connor Shaughnessy and Josh Knight all missing time. Mousinho knows where the problems lie but isn't expecting any deals to happen overnight, even with crucial championship points up for grabs.
John Mousinho himself is saying,
"The Bristol City result doesn't change anything. It doesn't change any of our conversations or the plan for January. We know where we're weak in the squad, and we know where we need to strengthen, so that hasn't made a difference. There's nothing imminent at the moment. We're looking at getting through the Ipswich game, then by the time we get to Sheffield Wednesday, it will hopefully be a different outlook. If you want to get some half-decent deals done, we're going to have to wait and be patient. There aren't too many transfers that get completed on January 1st. One of the first names linked with Pompey in the window is Brighton's Andrew Moran. The 22-year-old midfielder has been playing for LAFC in the MLS, but spent last season on loan with Stoke City, where he scored 4 goals in 41 appearances, including one in their 6-1 thrashing of Pompey last October. When asked about a potential loan move for Moran, however, Mousinho was giving nothing away. "I haven't got a comment to make on that, as he's contracted to another club," he said.
He's a canny kettle of fish, is our manager, John Mousinho. One forgets sometimes that if he hadn't gone into football, the plan was to be a corporate lawyer. So he has that kind of steel trap mind. And what he's doing with his comment, that is not a comment, about Moran, is saying that he could not possibly comment for reasons such as because the boy is contracted to another club. Now, John Mousinho spent his formative teenage years in the United States at one of America's top America's number one sporting college, Notre Dame. And when he came back to this country, just to see whether he might be good enough to play football for a living, which he was, and is now very much good enough at managing to have a long career stretching in front of him behind a desk instead of running around on a football pitch. But one of the things that he would have been immersed in when he came back to this country was the top TV show of the day, which was a thing called House of Cards, starring an actor called Sir Ian Richards, who was playing a government chief whip, an oily weasel of a man called Francis Urquhart, who knew how to lie and lie well. And when he was asked a question that really deserved a confirming yes, he would never say it. He would say, "You might think that. I could not possibly comment." And this became known as plausible deniability. So he has denied something and yet at the same time kind of confirmed it. But the denial is entirely plausible. And that's precisely what John Mousinho has just done in the case of Andrew Moran. So if there is anything that is being read into his comments or non-comments about Andrew Moran, is that the boy is being spoken to.
The Dundee Courier is carrying this interview with Toby Stewart.
Toby Stewart's sights are set on becoming Portsmouth's number one. But the young goalkeeper has no desire to cut short his St Johnstone loan along the way. Stewart has been a big part of the Perth side's championship title bid so far this season. The opening of the January transfer window offers his parent club the opportunity to recall the 20-year-old to Fratton Park. But Stewart confirmed that both he and Pompey haven't changed their minds on his stay in Scotland being a season-long one, and he'll only be satisfied if he returns to the south coast of England as a league winner. "I was told in the summer I'd be here for the whole season," said Stewart, "and that hasn't changed. I speak to the goalkeeper coach at Portsmouth all the time. They're happy with how it's going. Like everyone here, I have a job to do, and I want to see it through. I want to be successful with this team, and hopefully end it with a medal. We spoke at the start of the season about the plan for me, and this was it. I want to be playing games, and they want me to be playing games. It was about getting a whole season. Portsmouth have planned my progress well. It will be down to me in the end, but the hope is to one day become the number one there. Obviously, for that to happen you have to be patient, and build up enough experience, so we'll see what happens." Stewart, who has 13 clean sheets to his name from 27 appearances, added, "Scottish football has been good for me. It's been everything I expected and more. The pace of the game is really quick. It's very competitive, aggressive, and the standard is high. The supporters here are really invested in it, so you know every game will be competitive."
I don't mean this to be in any way disrespectful in response to those wise words from a very mature young man, Toby Stewart, but he is turning into an asset, a financial asset, of course, as well as a playing asset. He's not that much younger than Nico Schmidt, who I believe has signed up to be with us for at least another 2 seasons. Is it 3? That will make Toby Stewart now well into his early 20s, when he is competing against Schmidt for that first team place. Of course, that's notwithstanding injuries to Schmidt or to any of our goalkeeping staff. He's got to work his way through from being technically number 4 at the moment, right the way up to challenging for being number 1. But once he is up and challenging to be number 1, then one wonders just how much he'll be worth. Just out of interest, I'm going to nip to a website that we use quite a lot. It's highly respected, very knowledgeable. It's German, called Transfer Market, and see if I can tell you what he's currently valued at, Toby Stewart. But good words, sound words from a sound young goalkeeper, a sound young man.